Hi guys, my name is Siow Feng. My Matric number is A218820. Now I'm presenting a short storytelling for the assignment LMCR 2282 Set 1. My story begins with: my living room was warm and clean. The curtains drawn. The two tables lamps alight. Mine and the one by the empty chair opposite my own. On the sideboard behind me, I had prepared two tall glasses, soda water and whiskey. I was waiting for my husband, Patrick, to come home from his work at the police station. I was 6 months pregnant and I felt a slow, smiling air of absolute peace within me. Every now and again, I would glance up at the clock, just to please myself with the thought that each minute ticking away brought him closer to me. I absolutely adore him. I love the intense, comforting routine of his return from work. When I finally hear the car tires on the ground outside and the car door slamming, I laid aside my sewing, stood up and went forward to kiss him the moment he walked through the door. "Hello, darling," I said. "Hello," he answered. He sat down in his chair and began to drink. I could tell immediately that he was strangely detached, drinking much more heavily than usual. I listened to the ice cube tickling sharply against the side of his glass. "Darling, shall I get your slippers?" I asked. "No," he snapped. "Would you like to bring you some cheese and crackers?" "I don't want it," he said, his voice entirely flat. I watched him with a growing, silent anxiety. "Patrick," I pleaded, "I have got a nice leg of lamb for supper. We could just have it right here with some peas and potatoes." "Listen," he said, sitting absolutely rigid. "I've got something to tell you." And then he told me. He delivered his cold, blunt revelation that he was leaving me. It didn't take long, maybe 4 or 5 minutes, but it completely shattered my reality. I thought to myself, this isn't true. I'm imagining it. If I just go about my business, if I go to the kitchen and cook the supper, maybe later I would find it never happened. I walked out to the cellar, moving on autopilot toward the deep freeze. I reached my hand inside and took hold of the first object my finger touched. I felt the heavy, crystalline frost coating its rough, hard surface. It was a leg of lamb. I carried it upstairs, gripping the tin and tightly with both of my hands. Patrick was standing by the window with his back turned to me. "For God's sake," he muttered, hearing me but refusing to turn around. "Don't make supper for me. I'm going out." I simply walked out right behind him. Without a single word, I swung the big frozen leg of lamb high in the air with all my might, using the sheer weight of the meat as a ladle club. There was a sickening crack as the bone broke his skull. I stood there and watched the curious, swaying motion of his body as he stayed suspended for a second, before crashing face first onto the carpet with a heavy thud. "Alright, so I've killed him. What do I do now?" I washed my hands, put on my coat, and walked down to the grocery store. I knew I had to act like my usual cheerful self. "Hello, Sam," I said, forcing a bright smile. "Hello, Mrs. Maloney. How's everything?" "I want some potato, please, Sam," I said smoothly. "Yes, and I think a can of peas." Patrick decided he's tired and doesn't want to eat out tonight. "Well, now," Sam replied, His voice deep and friendly. Anything else? No, I think that's it, Sam. Thank you. I returned home, put on a grand performance of discovering the body, and wept hysterically as I called the police. The detective, who happened to be Patrick's old friend, arrived to investigate. By late evening, the physical evidence, the murder weapon itself, was sitting right inside my oven, fully cooked. I carefully manipulated their sympathy, convincing them to eat the leg of lamb so it wouldn't go to waste. They sat right at my kitchen table, chewing on the evidence. Have some more, Charlie? No, better not finish it. She wants us to finish it, they whispered. Be doing her a favor. That's a big club the guy must have used to settle poor Patrick, one of them murmured, chewing thoughtfully. Personally, I think the weapon is right here on the premises. It's probably right under our very noses. What do you think, Jack? And in the other room, I sat all by myself, listening to them eat, and I began to giggle. Okay, thank you.